Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks for making your way here for checking out the episode. Hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with the full series. 3 new interviews, just like this one, every single week. It's a new one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can grab us anywhere you get your podcast from as well. Spotify, Apple Podcast, NPR, WFPK.org, Consequence, or of course right here on YouTube for the video versions. Really, anywhere you get your podcast from, you can subscribe to Kyle Meredith with. That's me, Kyle Meredith. Today we are talking Citadel, Honey Bunny. Now this is the third parts in the espionage spy action universe, the Citadel universe, Cityverse. Citadelverse. Anyway, the first season, of course, was all set in America. It had Richard Madden, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, as Stanley Tucci, and Leslie Manville in it. And that was sort of, I guess, set in like present day ish. And then Citadel Diana was all set in Italy in the future. And it was done by all Italian crew with Italian language mostly, and we did that interview as well. You can check that one out in our series. Now there's the prequel series. It's called Citadel Honey Bunny. It's all set in India. In fact, here's the log line: when stuntman Bunny recruits struggling actress Honey for a side gig, they are hurled into a high-stakes world of action, espionage, and betrayal. Years later, as their dangerous past catches up, the estranged Honey and Bunny must reunite and fight to protect their young daughter, Nadia. Now, if you've seen the first season of Citadel, that Nadia is going to make a lot more sense now. We're getting the backstory of her and her mom and that whole situation. So I'm going to be talking with directors Raj and DK. I'm going to be talking with editor Sita Menon. And I'm going to be talking with a star, global star, Samantha. We also know her as Samantha Ruth Prabhu. So let's get into this, talking about the Citadel Honey Bunny. It's Kyle Meredith with the cast of Citadel Honey Bunny.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you all. Congratulations on just a beautiful new series and all the action and everything. I got nothing but compliments for you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
Thank you.
Raj DK, maybe we'll start with you all. How did this series get pitched? Because, knowing that there's going to be, you're going to be kind of the third in line of the release and everything. Like, do you have to pay attention to the original at all? I mean, how was it presented to you?
At that point, I think it was more of the world that they described us, that where the whole thing was set, the big plan. It was an extremely ambitious spread with various ideas and stuff. So we were listening to more about their story and the game plan. And we were trying to see where we can fit in and how to fit in and what kind of show or story we should be telling. And we thought it'd be nice to stick to our own, the way we make our movies and shows, and have a bit of quirk in it, have a some kind of an unexpected angle to it. And they loved it. They loved it right off the bat. And so we said, so we started developing various ideas in that genre, and we wanted to kind of take the frills, cut the frills out of the action genre, and make it more organic, earthy addition to this high-tech world.
Yeah. And knowing that it's going to be, I don't know if prequel is the right word, but it's set earlier in time. And then I don't know, thinking about how, Citadel Diana is so futuristic at 2030. Do you all think about like how the bridge gets from one point to the other? Looking back at the 90s, but also into the future. I mean, does that part ever cross your all's mind?
It does constantly, right? As we write characters and design the plot, we also try to see where elements of American, Italian bits fit into our show. But we didn't have to go too far into it, even though it is cool to put some Easter eggs, have some connections, all that you can watch out for. But we were more focusing on creating a standalone show that can work even if you didn't watch anything else, because that's how we've been making shows in India. And we know the audience might or might not have watched other shows, So we wanted to have it like a standalone series that works for the local audience and then to the international audience.
Yeah. Samantha, so this one takes us back to the beginning, right? Do I got the character names right? You're playing the mother of Nadia eventually. Is that what
Yes.
it is, right? Yeah. Uh, like how, I don't know. The fun part is watching you be an actress playing an actress at certain parts of it.
Yeah.
Like, is there a challenge to that? Because to me, you've got to you can't be a natural part of what you do. Like, what is it like to do the actress in an actress thing?
That was the easiest part, I think, in the in the series. I was just having fun, and it was a little extra.
Yeah. The only
I
challenge
indulged.
the only challenge for her was she had to be a bad actress. That was the challenge.
Thank you, DK.
I think that's what I'm thinking of too. It's like you almost have to turn yourself off a little bit.
I kind of I indulged myself a little. It was fun.
What was it like to develop, being an action star?
Apparently, it's one of my hidden talents. I didn't know about it until The Family Man, which was my previous venture with Raj DK. So it's really fun. It's challenging, but in such an exciting way. And I get to not let only the boys have the fun and get in on the action. And it's exciting.
Yeah. And I feel like this one can, all four of you might have something to say about this, but there are certain scenes, like, of course, they gave us the first two episodes to screen. There's the car fight scene. And I would love to know, what went into that, because that's one of the most exciting things off of these. I mean, there's among many exciting moments, by the way, but especially that scene, for all of you all, what went into that scene right there? It's one of my favorites.
We were
All yours.
we were watching the first episode yesterday on the big screen, and that's the first time, I think, pretty much one of the few times you're going to get to watch it on the big screen. And we've watched this series some 84 times by now. So as we were watching and then this very familiar, popular old song, Hindi song, kicks in at that point. And even I got a bit excited, thinking that's kicking in at the right point. And then once you go in, this mother who's been so protective with the daughter is, tied up in the trunk, and then she's cutting through the back seat. And it worked really well for me yesterday when I was watching it on the big screen. And it had to be a oneer. It had to be a one take. And they had to get it right. She had to get it right. And we are low tech, so we have our ways of designing these things, because it's not, there is no fancy equipment that way that you could do something where the camera would go all those places it would and capture these moments in the exact right spot. So it's all, there's a word in India called jugaad, which means what, DK?
Hack. I would say it's a hack. We find hacks for everything. Like whatever costs $1 million to do in Hollywood, we find a way to do it in $100.
It's basically subverting the system.
So in general, we had to find hacks as to how to create challenges that we create for ourselves. That's what it was.
Yeah. How much do you all talk about the style? The split screen moments in there, are definitely a mood. The big makeout scene, and it's that what is it, like a yellow or orange light that's just so beautifully put. How much did you all talk about the style, and how would you define that?
I mean, a lot of the visual style of the film. I mean, I have to mention the DOP. He's a Danish guy called Johan. He has a very strange eye, I would say. Because I don't know how he sees these colors in his mind, but he comes up with this amazing frame. So part of the motif of the show is there is a cold and a warm in the same frame. Like there is a blue and a orange, and that's in a lot of places. So it's almost like every frame there's a dichotomy, like there's cold and there's warm, cold and warm, and that became the motif of the show. And yeah, and I mean, because we were anyway set in a period like a retro thing, it allowed us to a few more liberties we could take. For example, there's a lot of sodium vapor lamps, which has this warm, fuzzy, spread out feel, which also feels like you've gone back into a noirish kind of a zone at that point. So all these things, I mean, we've discussed at length, and there is a little sock kind of a thing that he puts on the lens to give a soft glow to the skin. So a lot of things have gone into it to make it look unique, special. We don't want to look like an old film. It still has to look like a very modern film to be watched today, but somehow convey to you a sense of that nostalgia or that retro feel.
Yeah, and well done on all of that. And again, to all of you all, congratulations on this series. I'm in for it. I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you all so much for taking the time to talk about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.